The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Alexander Chen stepped forward, his polished boots echoing against the crystalline floor. Around him, representatives from dozens of species watched with predatory anticipation, literally in most cases. The Veltar delegation's razor-sharp mandibles clicked with amusement, while the towering Krex warriors flexed their claws against their weapon hilts. "So," rumbled High Counselor Thane, his serpentine form coiled around the central dais. "The humans finally join our esteemed gathering. Tell us, little primate, what apex predators does your species hunt? What mighty beasts have you conquered to earn your place among the stars?" Alexander's companion, Dr. Nora Valdez, adjusted her tablet and gave him the slightest nod. They had prepared for this moment, the inevitable challenge that every species faced when joining the Galactic Council. Each member had earned their seat by demonstrating their prowess as hunters, their ability to dominate the food chain of their homeworld. The Veltar had shown recordings of themselves dismantling hive-minded crystal entities the size of mountains. The Krex had presented the skulls of void-swimming leviathans they hunted in the space between worlds. Even the seemingly peaceful ethereal collective had displayed the psychic remains of incorporeal nightmares they had torn apart with pure thought. "You want to see humanity's prey?" Alexander asked, his voice carrying clearly through the chamber's acoustics. "Very well." He gestured to Nora, who activated the chamber's holographic display system. The space above them shimmered, then resolved into a scene that made several counselors lean forward with interest. "Behold," Alexander announced, "the cave bear, twice the size of a human, armed with claws that could rend metal, possessing strength enough to crush bones with a casual swipe." The hologram showed the massive prehistoric creature in all its terrifying glory. "My ancestors hunted these with pointed sticks." A few appreciative growls emanated from the predator species. This was more like it. "The mammoth," Nora continued seamlessly, switching the display. 15 feet tall, armored in thick hide and fur, tusks capable of goring through stone. Humans brought them down with coordination and persistence. The display shifted again. Saber-toothed cats, perfect killing machines evolved over millions of years to be living weapons. Another shift. Giant wolves, pack hunters with intelligence rivaling early human tribes. Counselor Zrix of the arachnid hegemony clicked approvingly. Impressive for primitives. But surely these ancient hunts pale before what modern humanity can achieve. Alexander smiled, an expression that, unknown to the alien council, contained far more predatory intent than any of their snarls or roars. "You're absolutely right."
"Shall we see what we hunt now?"
The hologram changed, showing a sleek silver craft moving through space. Behold, the Terran Navy hunting down a rogue AI collective that had consumed 3 star systems. The prey, a machine intelligence that could process information at quantum speeds, control matter at the molecular level, and adapt to any strategy within nanoseconds. Murmurs of interest rippled through the chamber. This was better. Or perhaps, Nora added, manipulating her controls, you'd prefer to see the human colonial marines pursuing the nightmare plague across 17 worlds. An entity that existed partially in subspace, could phase through matter at will, and fed on conscious thought itself. The display showed armored humans moving through twisted landscapes that hurt to look at, hunting something that barely registered on their instruments. The assembled aliens watched with growing respect and unease. "But wait," Alexander said, his smile growing wider. "We haven't shown you our greatest prey yet. The most dangerous, most cunning, most adaptable predator humanity has ever faced." The chamber fell completely silent. Even the usually boisterous Krex delegation had stopped their constant posturing. Every eye, sensor, and consciousness focused on the human ambassador. "Show them, Nora." The hologram shifted one final time. The image that appeared made several counselors recoil in shock, caused others to emit distress signals, and sent the ethereal collective into a state of profound disturbance. It was a human face. Not Alexander's, not Nora's, but a composite, representing the species as a whole. Below it, data scrolled past. Atmospheric composition requirements, temperature tolerances, gravitational preferences, dietary needs, reproductive cycles, technological capabilities, psychological profiles. "This," Alexander said quietly, his voice carrying to every corner of the suddenly still chamber, "is humanity's greatest prey. We hunt ourselves. We study ourselves. We stalk ourselves across continents, across centuries, across the very cosmos itself. Nora stepped forward, her scientific demeanor unchanged, but her eyes gleaming with the same predatory intelligence as her companions. We are the only species in known history to achieve spaceflight by first perfecting the art of killing our own kind. Every weapon we've ever created, every strategy we've ever devised, every advancement in our technology, it all began with us hunting us. We studied human behavior so thoroughly that we learned to predict it. We mapped human psychology so completely that we learned to manipulate it. We understood human biology so perfectly that we learned to enhance it. Alexander gestured to the data still streaming below the human image. We made ourselves extinct and reborn 1,000 times over, discarding weakness, embracing strength, evolving not through natural selection but through conscious, ruthless self-improvement. The silence stretched on. Finally, High Counselor Thane found his voice, though it trembled slightly. You hunted your own species? Oh no, Alexander corrected gently. That would imply we stopped. We never stopped hunting ourselves, Counselor. Every human you see before you is the product of a species that spent 10,000 years as both predator and prey. Hunter and hunted, constantly pursuing the most dangerous game in existence, itself. Nora closed her tablet with a soft click. The question isn't what humanity hunts, counselors. The question is, what happens when humanity decides to hunt you? As the two humans walked calmly from the chamber, leaving behind a council of apex predators who suddenly felt very much like prey, the hologram continued to display that human face, watching, analyzing, learning. In the end, they realized humans hadn't shown them humanity's prey. They had shown them humanity's hunting method, and every species in that chamber was already being studied.